Alright, guys, today we are going to be talking about tuberculosis. What causes it, what it does, how it's transmitted, and even more. But before that, let's get started off with a little bit of background information on the topic. So, back in 1882, a German microbiologist had this big idea. It was that tuberculosis was pathogenic, meaning that it was a disease that could be transmitted from person to person. And this guy's name was Robert Koch. He eventually did find out the cause of tuberculosis, and this confirmed his idea. So what causes it is a bacteria. It's called Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Now there are other types of Mycobacterium and one that causes leprosy even. But today we're just going to be focusing on Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So over here in the left-hand corner, you're going to see me draw a mycobacterium from a view that's underneath the microscope. As you can see, I'm coloring in the walls purple, and that's because when you look underneath the microscope, it is actually stained purple. And it actually kind of looks like a fungi from underneath the microscope as well. And so there are a couple features about this mycobacterium. It is non-motile, meaning that it doesn't move. It's an obligate anaerobe, so it absolutely loves air, which is why it's normally found in the lungs. It's also an acid fast, meaning that it contains nucleic acid, which makes the walls very waxy, meaning that it's harder to treat than other bacteria. It is around 2 to 4 in length, meaning you have to have a microscope to see it. It is bacillus-shaped or rod, and it generates every 15 to 20 hours. So it is a very, very slow-growing bacteria. Especially when compared to other bacteria such as E. coli, which is one of the faster growing bacteria, and it can actually regenerate in only 20 minutes. Okay, and then this little guy up here is going to be our sick guy. And so he has tuberculosis. And so whenever he is sneezing, coughing, singing, talking, or even just breathing into the air, these mycobacterium are escaping from his body, meaning that the air is now carrying this mycobacterium and that people can inhale it. So you have to be careful around people with TB, but this doesn't mean you'll catch it. Normally, the only people who are going to catch it are close friends and family, and that's because they're around them a lot. So you have to be careful about that. Alright, and then this little guy in the corner is going to be breathing in all of his mycobacterium, and that's going to be going down his respiratory system. And so it's moving down into his lungs and settling there. And like I said before, it loves the lungs because it's an oblique anaerobe, because it loves air. So this is the primary place where it'll end up settling. This is the main type of tuberculosis that everyone knows, and it's called pulmonary tuberculosis. And it is an infection that destroys the lung tissue. However, what most people don't know is that tuberculosis can actually affect different parts of your body. It travels through your lymph system and your bloodstream and affects parts such as the kidneys, your liver, spine, and much more. So there are two different types of infection. There is latent infection and an active infection. And in a latent infection, these mycobacterium are going to be in your body. However, your immune system is going to be fighting them off. This means that you're not actually sick, but you do have the bacteria inside your body, which means that you actually won't be showing any symptoms. But this mycobacterium is going to wait for your immune system to become weakened, and then it's going to attack when it has a chance. While active, as soon as these mycobacterium come into your body, you are going to become sick immediately. And this normally happens with people who already have a weakened immune system, such as people with HIV. Now, there are treatments for tuberculosis. The main one is a shot that kids get when they're little to prevent it. However, the other type of treatment is antibiotics, and it is a very, very hard treatment, which means that you have to take a lot of different antibiotics and you have to take them for a very long time because it is reluctant to treatment. However, this creates the risk of drug-resistant tuberculosis. And now we're going to be talking about two different strands of drug-resistant tuberculosis. So these mycobacterium right here are going to be resistant to the two most common types of antibiotics. And this means that you cannot be treated with these because they are resistant to them. And this is called MDR-TB. And these are the most two common types that are going to be used to treat it, so you'll have to find something else. While this second one here on the bottom is resistant to almost any tuberculosis type of drug. And that means that you'll have to find something else completely.